Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's MMA Cycles Market Update. This is Gianni DePoce, your host. It's great to be back with you on this shortened trading week. Markets were closed in the United States on Thursday in observance of the Thanksgiving holiday. And then on Friday, we saw equity exchanges close early at 1 p.m. Eastern. So not as much to talk about this week, but that's okay with the holiday season. I take a really nice paraphrase quote from Ray's book, Evolutionary Astrology, that I read many years ago, saying that it's important to try and live in trade with what is versus what we want. So as the pace of the market naturally slows at this time of the year, it's a good time for us to all move with what is in the market and slow down a little bit and enjoy some other things that matter very much so as well. But in the meantime, let me go ahead and share my screen. We could talk about what happened in the market this week. We see the Dow Jones rally to a new cycle high, took out its high from mid-August, which is a good sign, and it closed at its highest weekly level since April. So Dow continues to lead the overall equity rally higher, for better or for worse, depending on how you look at it. And you can hear and read our insights on that in the daily and weekly reports in more detail. Want to take a look at the NASDAQ. NASDAQ was down a little bit here on Friday, still lagging notably, but as Saturn gets into the later stages of Aquarius, we could look for this underperformance to perhaps start to ease a little bit or not be as stark, but it might take until, Saturn goes into the sign of Pisces in March of 2023. Let's take a look at interest rates. 10-year Treasury yield. Yields are coming back down, and this could actually be a good sign for stocks, but it does make one wonder if the Fed is on the cusp of a pivot of some sort. We had the FOMC minutes out earlier this week. That was pretty much the only key data point that was out. It came out on Wednesday, and basically they were saying that they would be open to slowing the pace of interest rate hikes. So this past week, it was a pretty quiet week from a geocosmic standpoint. We had a square aspect between Mars and Neptune on the 19th, which was last Saturday, followed by Sun trine Jupiter on the 20th on this past Sunday. But the big signature was Jupiter going direct in Pisces, which is a good segue into the next market I want to look at was crude oil, because crude oil was down again this week. But looking ahead into next week, we have Neptune ending its retrograde motion on the 3rd of December. So aside from that, next week we have a trine between Mars and Saturn on the 28th of November, and then an opposition between Venus and Mars on the 1st of December. But I think as it pertains to crude oil, Jupiter going direct actually sent prices, Jupiter going direct sent prices plunging lower. But could we look for another reversal when Neptune also joins Jupiter in its direct motion? So keep in mind, those are the two planets that rule this market. So we have to see how they, react to those geocosmic signatures. Now, another market I think that's important, given the plethora of Jupiter aspects, is gold and silver and precious metal miners. So we're looking at GDX. This is actually featured in the MMA ETF report. And we also rallied to a new high this past week, and that too occurred under a heavy Jupiter period. And gold and silver usually don't do well under Jupiter periods, but with Jupiter set to ingress back into Aries at the end of December, on the 20th of December, that ingress takes place, we could look for some notable moves in the mining market, because the sun is exalted in Aries. And so we can look for, a potential move, a big move in the precious metals sector. Also want to take a look at Bitcoin. Continues to consolidate its losses. So crypto continues to deal with the unwind of the FTX scandal. We talked about, the geocosmics that coincided with that bankruptcy. So still a nasty situation that hopefully the sector can make it through. But keep in mind, Uranus is starting to, get toward the end of its transit through Taurus. Granted, there's still, 2 to 3 years left, more like 3 to 4 years left. And we're dealing with the bust portion of the boom bust phase of Uranus going through Taurus. So that pretty much takes care of what I wanted to review with you this week. Like I said, quiet week in the markets overall. Equities did pretty well, but with the holiday, light trading week with respect to volume. So a couple brief announcements. We had a Black Friday sale at MMAcycles.com. So I would encourage you to check that out. And then we also had our MMA monthly addendum report released this past Monday on the 21st of November, written by MMA analyst and MMTA graduate Puyan Zulfagarnia, a great complement to the monthly cycles report. So I would encourage you to check that out. So aside from that, stay tuned for Forecast 2023. The book is complete and it's off to the printer. So you should be receiving them at some point very soon. So any questions, feel free to shoot us an email. But aside from that, wishing you all a great holiday weekend, and we'll see you next week, same time, same place. Thank you.